Okay. Is something that's telling me to not trade my funded accounts today. Something's telling me not to trade them. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I got. Mm. 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 I mean, do I really want to capture the market? Yeah, I really don't care about the ES. Don't care. I don't want to. I feel like, yeah, I'll be wasting my time with that. Hey, what's up, Knife Art? Uh, hmm. You have a good night too, man. I appreciate you dropping in, man. This is one of the levels on the NA meeting right here. So, I'm gonna take this one. What I'm gonna, well, actually, do I have another account? Do I have another account? I might have got rebuilt for another account. Yeah, man, just get some rest, man. Just get some rest. You too, man. Uh, yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I'm not doing it that way. Yeah, that just be my routine. That just be my routine. Yeah, I really don't think this goes too far. I don't think it goes too far. Mm, mm, mm. Probably, probably need to understand a little bit. Used to deal with lanes till she ran into a stepper. Big dog sherm, zone 9 rapper. Who's throwing salt, but the Draco came with pepper. Mm. That would be interesting. Let's look at that. Based on the monthly, it's about to give up the gains that it made this week, huh? Let's look at that. Huh. That's interesting. The 15. Oh, yeah. On the monthly, it's about to give up the gains it made this month. Shit, the monthly chart says that we're gonna continue to go up to the upside. Hmm. The daily, he's probably on a continuous contract. Yeah, the the daily chart definitely looks like we could see a move down. It does look bearish. It does. It does. But the monthly looks super bullish. Yeah, we could potentially see a pullback. Potentially. If we drop tomorrow, it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna get nasty if we drop tomorrow. I probably won't trade my funded accounts unless I see like a super setup. I mean, we probably might get one more range play. One more range play, and then that's that. I think that's about it. I think that's all we get. Because I mean, I just don't see. I mean, can they? I mean, will they? I'm glad I didn't jump into this with the funded account and just like an eval or something, because I mean, this may eventually just work out, but um I don't like trading. I don't like going long when the structure is bearish. Usually with the bears, I mean, once we saw that they broke two layers of resistance with these so they broke the overall trend, and then they broke the end of day trend. So they broke down two trends. So I mean, they broke down this one and then came back and retested this one and finally got it to knock down. That's bearish. I don't trust the bears still, but I mean, that's bearish though. Mm, I mean, it's okay, man. It's okay. Can't do anything about it. It said move forward and do better. Um, shit. Uh, Guys, give me a second. Yeah, this might be a shot in the dark here. Yeah, this might be. And this dude's running ass like every 2 seconds, dude. What the hell? I mean, I hate that they hit all the damn levels. I hate that shit, man. They hit all the levels at the end of the day. And so you gotta look for the market to reset itself up. Cause they fucking do this shit all the time now. It's like they'll hit all the levels during the day, and then you gotta look for new ones the next day. Instead of just saving some of that price action for a new session. Mm. Whoa. Mm. Mm. Another one of them slow nights. Another one of those slow nights. Yeah, it seems like once again the market is making all the moves at the open. It's like another day, another move at the open. Hey, what's up, Investor Z? What's up? Hmm. Hmm. Oh crap! Shit, forgot. Yeah. I almost forgot to do my homework. Let me get this thing done real quick, and we can kind of go over, what we did today. I mean, shit. Today was probably. I mean, this week has been really a good week, honestly. We've made so much money this week. Last week, we've actually made money, a lot of money. Uh, yeah, this entire month, actually. We made about $75,000 in the Trading View competition. I don't trade it as much as I should because, uh, I mean, if someone's already made $3 million, then there's really no point focusing on that. I don't know how they made $3 million, $4 million already, but really no point doing that. But I will be trading that Ninja Trader 8 competition next week. I will be trading that. I'll probably be focusing more on that next week. Take a break from these other accounts and only trade my funded account in key areas. But I will be focusing on that account next week. We will come in with a plan. We will trade that plan. We will stop out where we need to stop out, and we will take profits where we need to take our profits. We're trying to be number one in that competition next week. That's going to be the goal. And shit, all I really need is 5 contracts. I really don't need no more than that. I can rock with 3. 5 contracts for me is just uh, 2 contracts for a scale in, 3 contracts to initiate the trade. That's all I need. Start having these accounts start making money, just generating income. Now, I will say that this trade is like a 50-50 trade right here. This is a 50-50 trade. Right now, we did see a bounce. However, I mean, this is the Nasdaq, man. It's not like it's the NQ or the ES where it necessarily needs to rebalance this area. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to rebalance that area at all. It can just continue to go down and then shoot all the way back up. So, I mean, it's a 50-50 trade. %, winner, 50% loser. We'll see which side the market chooses. Well, yeah, I just gotta make sure that this data is correct real quick. So, um, like I said, if you use your weekends to collect data on the NQ, I thought about doing it on the ES, but I don't need to do that on the ES. ES is just so easy to trade. I really don't need to track the ES. It's just like basic. It's 1, 2, 3 trading. It's if it does A, then B happens. If B happens, C happens. I mean, it's ABC 1, 2, 3. It's nothing complicated about trading the ES. But what makes the Nasdaq challenging is that, like I said, she doesn't have to rebalance if she doesn't want to. She's already shown that when she rebalances, it's because she's choosing to, not because she has to. The ES, it has to move in a certain way. So that's why I'm only capturing data for the Nasdaq. Since capturing this data, my results have increased dramatically. I mean, earlier today, we did have a fallen account today. We did have an account go daily loss limit. Unfortunately, it had to be sacrificed. But because of its sacrifice, we was able to make about off stream or on stream. I was about 15K. I was able to get back in, make some more money. End of the day, about like 17, 18K. So we made a lot of money. I literally ran out of accounts today. That's how much winning that we was doing today. I literally ran out of accounts to trade. That's how much money we made. Shit. And it all has to do with me doing my homework. I think like the best actually, hold on, let me finish this before I really get deep into that conversation. Quick, I apologize. But today, it really the play I'm about to show you, it just really shows like, man, if I really didn't look at this and see this pattern, not only would I have gotten stopped out, but I would have probably ended up chasing the Nasdaq and was like, wow. I'm pretty sure. I mean, everybody that was with me this morning, I mean, y'all saw me call that shit out in real time. And not only did I call that shit out in real time, the Nasdaq did it in real time. Like the Nasdaq is very nasty. Very nasty. But apparently, gold USD is even nastier. Because Smith sent me this message on Instagram. Someone said that the Nasdaq is someone that you marry. XAU USD, gold USD. She's a bad bitch. The one that, you just keep on the side. And I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, so either this person has a toxic lifestyle to where the Nasdaq appears to be wifey material, or gold USD is just that crazy. And in comparison, the Nasdaq is like the ES, tame. Now, I would find it hard to believe that there is something out there even crazier than the Nasdaq, even nastier than the Nasdaq. But if gold USD is that instrument, shit, I'm gonna have to try it for myself. But I mean, I don't trade Forex or nothing, but a good cheat code when you're trading currencies is that CFTC data for sure. You trade the or you collect the CFTC data for currencies. It's like a cheat code, man. It's a cheat code. But I'm gonna show you the trade that I was talking about earlier. And dude, I literally put my scale in where my stop was, and just watching the Nasdaq come down, hit exactly where my stop would have been, and then bounce and go in the intended direction. It was amazing to see, but I was not surprised. I was not surprised whatsoever. Oh, come on, man. She seems kind of quiet out there. She probably has her pacifier or something. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I think. Oh yeah, and I also have an appointment tomorrow, so I'll be I'll stream until about like 9:30, but I gotta leave around 10. I have an appointment at 10:45 tomorrow, so we usually do make our money in the first hour of the market, but I'm gonna have to end the stream a little bit earlier than usual tomorrow. I don't feel like it. All right, so that's done. All right, cool. Okay, that's done. All right, so let's go back and talk about that trade because, uh, yeah, I mean, I was not surprised by it whatsoever. Where was it at? Yeah, I think it was. It was either this leg or it was this leg. What time was this? It was 9:30. Yeah, it was highly likely this leg, or was this 10 o'clock? No, it was this leg right here. Okay, yeah, it was this leg right here. This was the leg right here where she ran support and she tapped right where my stop was, right here. And then I said to myself, you know what? As I was doing my homework over the weekend, I noticed that sometimes the Nasdaq likes to break through support and then pop back up. And I noticed that she was about to do that. So I put my scale in where my stop was and I moved my stop 9 points further down, creating a 27-point stop versus my usual 18-point stop. And when I say that it touched my 18-point stop, it made a little wick right there, and then it pushed up, and we was able to make more money because of that scaling. It just goes to show that if you approach the Nasdaq in a logical state and don't allow her and don't give her your power in terms of don't allow her to emotionally move you. And I know that's more easier said than done. The Nasdaq is very nasty. You can be down, you can hit your daily loss limit in seconds. Your account can be gone and snatched away from you in seconds. But if you're following the trend, if you're getting in at areas of support and resistance and you have decent size and a decent size stop loss, you can weather her storms and get paid. She's crazy, but she's not that crazy. She does follow the rules of breaking structure. I mean, she doesn't just break through. And I think right here is a good example of her not breaking through structure first. I mean, you got your area right here where this was obviously support. And we had all this bearish momentum go down. Now, people will probably said that she would have probably go through this because, that's just the Nasdaq. People assume that she doesn't respect technical analysis. She does to a T. She still has the break structure just like everybody else. So you can see how they bounced, they rebalanced, and then they broke. And that's something else that I noticed because honestly, I was one of those people that would imagine her just going through supply, going through support without, the proper protocols to do it. She does it. I mean, another good example is right here. This is another good example. She broke through, she came back, and then she completed it. But then obviously the Bulls came right back in after the Bears gave it up. You see that they broke the structure. They came back. It's small. She had a small pullback at that high, and then she continued onward. Like, I mean, the Nasdaq follows technical analysis. It's just that it kind of happens faster than most. And so we'll see. Like I said, this is a 50-50 trade right here. If the Bulls can hold this area, I should at least get a retest, and I should at least get my target hit here. But this area, the only thing that I don't necessarily like here is just that this area has been used multiple times as support, resistance, support, and now it's trying to act as support again. And that's the only thing. And usually when I see multiple touches of an area of supply and demand, I begin to second guess if either side is going to hold. I'm kind of glad that I got an appointment tomorrow so I can kind of keep me away from the charts because I'm just going to wait for a breakout tomorrow. We got both the Nasdaq and the ES trading in this range. This entire week, the market's been trading in this range right here. And it just seems like when the bulls fail to break highs, then price goes right back into this range and we're having a rotational market where the market is rotating back and forth between supply and demand. Now, I know that can be very challenging for people, especially coming from 2024 price action where we basically trended the entire time. I don't think we had too many range days last week. We did not have too many range days. I'm not going to go back and collect the data myself, but based on just off the top of my head, we may have had maybe 5 range days last year. 5. Shit, I'll give them 10 just in case. We didn't have too many of them. And now we're getting more range days this year. We're getting a lot of range days. I'm actually collecting the data on that, and we've had a lot of bullish range days. Let me actually pull that up. Yeah, so far, since January 13th, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've had 11. We've had 11 range days so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 trend days so far and 11 range days so far. Uh, my bad. My bad. My bad. 185. You're rejecting the 21. Hey, so Dennis, what are you talking about? Says you said, how can you do that? Can you create a class on that? Like, what are you talking about? Uh, just remind me because I kind of talk, so I kind of talk. Just remind me what I was talking about. Uh, so I'm just gonna use your say your last name, Lewis. Um, I'm in 3 mini contracts right now. The most that I'll probably have at a time is 5. Oh, okay. So collecting data over the weekend, yeah. I mean, we can go over that right now. So I collect data over the weekend. Uh these are the ranges that uh these are the ranges that I look at and I collect this data over time, and these ranges usually hit. These are the ranges from my NA meeting. What I'm going to start sorry. I'm going to start structuring everything to monetize the channel in terms of the NA meeting. I got something very interesting for you guys with the NA meetings. I've been collecting the data on that and I'm very proud of it. I'm just going to keep it at that. I'm very proud of what I've done with those meetings. I mean, those videos have evolved over time. I was actually looking at the first video that I've done and obviously the most recent up to date video so far. And yeah, they've come a long way. They've come a long way. And I think it's ready to, because those videos brings a lot of value. For those that watch it, yesterday we caught the top on both the ES and the Nasdaq. We caught the top on both the ES and the Nasdaq on Monday. So all this week we was catching the tops, catching the bottoms. Uh, we've been catching a lot of trades with those meetings. If you watch the video, mark those areas on your charts, and if you feel comfortable taking those trades, you made money. So far, I'm only collecting the data for the Nasdaq. And when I tell you the number of how much money one could have made, well, let me just say this. If you watched the NA meetings in January and you didn't take any of the trade except for the levels that I presented in those videos, all the wins and all the losses, and there's not too many losses in those videos. You made about 48,000 in a month, or 36,000 in the month of January. Hold on. I sent it to Smith and I was like, yo. And that's if you held it from top to bottom. That's if you held it. The way I calculated it is if I didn't calculate the whole move, I calculated from how I trade, from supply to demand. But I understand that a lot of people aren't comfortable holding NASDAQ. But I can only base those things how I trade. Legally, I can't tell you how to trade. Or not legally, but it's just not in my best interest to tell you how to trade. I can only provide guidance. Seriously. And this is just on one contract too. One contract with a 27-point stop. So in the month of January, if you took all the trades presented in the NA meeting, it was up 35K just for the month of January. That's not even counting the trades in the ES, and I'm more accurate on the ES. The areas that I'm looking at is more accurate. It's almost to the point on the ES. So if I made 35K on the Nasdaq, then altogether in the month of January, it could have been close to $60,000 to $70,000 in just January. Shit, if you're just adding up what we made this week across all my accounts, I'm up like 30, 40, 50K already. Shit, we passed 220K Apex accounts on Monday or last week or Monday or something like that. We passed 220Ks. I'm halfway done with my Blue Sky 20Ks. Shit, we made about 15K, 18K today. But the goal is to the goal with this channel is to, I guess, bring it up to speed with the rest of all the other channels. I prefer to keep everything free, honestly, I do. But unfortunately, I'm being shown in real time that people don't value free anything. People think that if it's free, then there's no value in it. I really don't know why people think this way. I don't know why people prefer to be scammed. I don't know why people don't value anything that's free. I just don't know why. But unfortunately, that's just how people are, and that's how people think. And like I said, I will start promoting, growing the channel, growing the audience so we can get more engagement and stuff like that. I haven't been doing it. Everything that's so far has been organic. And like I said, I do appreciate everybody that joins, everybody that rocks with me and my trading partner, our boy Smith. But we gotta get our brand out there. So, like I said, that's kind of what I do on the weekend. That's why I kind of collect the data now. Something else that I've been collecting. Let's actually see it. So like this is something else that I'm collecting right here is yeah, this is kind of like the trades right here. Like the amount of money, or yeah, I think like in the first week we've only had 1, 2, 3 losses. Second week we had about 3 losses. Yeah, that first and second week of January was kind of brutal though. The CFTC data has been very helpful. I mean, we talked about this on Sunday, and let's talk about it again, because I feel that if you're not collecting the CFTC data yourself, I mean, obviously I'm going to collect it. If we're going to talk about it every Sunday night before the start of the week. But just having this data, being able to collect this data yourself is definitely going to be beneficial. I mean, this week we're only 56% long and 44% short. And we only have 14,000, almost 15,000 contracts net long. And we talked about, I think this week is going to range. And look what's happening. the market has been ranging because the contracts in the market right now does not suggest that we're going to break. And we're not testing I mean, we could test all-time highs this week. I guess we could, but I mean, the numbers don't suggest that we will. I mean, the last week of January has been probably the most contracts that we've had so far with 31,000, or actually no. Well, December doesn't count this year. Yeah, but this year, this is the last week of January was the most amount of contracts. But you can also see that this was January, the first week of February. I mean, that's what 31,000. That's 12,000 contracts. That's a $12,000 contract drop from the previous week. And then you got an extra 5,000 contracts dropping off. So I really don't see the market really making a big move this week because, the position sizing is not there. It's just not. They've been increasing their longs. I mean, they've been decreasing their longs and they've been increasing their shorts. So, I mean, this is just the data that, I collect over the weekend. And I use it to make money during the week. Mm. Mm. So the NA, okay. So when I say it's just what I call, it's kind of like an AA meeting, but Nasdaq Anonymous meeting, because we're addicted to the NQ over here. But these are the videos that I'm talking about right here. Basically, these videos are supposed to give you a roadmap and kind of give you an idea of what side of the market to trade. I got to put some disclaimers in that too, because I'm not telling you how to trade. But right now they're not monetized, so I don't have to do it now. But when I structure everything, I'm gonna have to. But these are the videos right here. We caught the top, and I think we caught the bottom too on Monday or Tuesdays and Wednesdays video. So these two videos we caught the tops. I know for sure. I think we also caught the bottom as well. I'll know over the weekend when I input the data. But all right, but that's what I mean by doing the homework over the weekend. And just looking at the price action. This is something else that I track is how much moves that the Nasdaq is making every day. I mean, you don't really, I guess, at least for me, I really don't pay attention to how much the Nasdaq is moving. But then when you actually put in the data, we say that the bears suck, but somehow, some way, they're moving the market 173 points to the downside, 217, 89. I mean, they're able to move the market when they can, but it just seems like as an example, like today, I mean, we had a 70-point move to the upside, a 173-point drop, and then we saw a 181-point bounce, and then a 94-point rejection going into the close of the session. So it's like, that's a lot of movement. That's a lot of money right here. It's a lot of money. Both sides of the market could have made money today. I mean, if you look at the Nasdaq, both sides of the market gets decent moves. So like collecting this data just kind of puts the Nasdaq into perspective for me. Like I said, I'll collect this data. So I mean, if you don't want to collect it yourself, I'm collecting it. I'll present it usually on Sunday. You know, I present my homework, my 12 steps. Yeah, no problem, Dennis. Yeah, we'll see if I mean, dude, I mean, at this point, I mean, we could see a rejection at the 21 EMA. We could see a rejection at VWAP. Honestly, I really wouldn't even be surprised if we do. I really would not be surprised. I would not be surprised there. We don't commit acts of blasphemy either. Don't take profits like that. If anybody wants to trade similar to how I trade, I would highly recommend starting off with micros. Micros, actually trading CL actually put me into that mind frame. Trading micros helped me solidify that. And once you get a good once you get very comfortable catching 50 plus points on the Nasdaq with micros, and we're not talking about 10 micros, 20 micros, 30 micros, that's equivalent to minis. We're talking about maybe 5 at the most and 3 at the least, where in order to make some real money, you got to catch these points. That's helped me tremendously with ignoring my P&L and trading the process. When I get into my funded account, I do trade my P&L. Obviously, you kind of have, well, the way that these prop firms got it set up, you kind of have to be mindful about your P&L. That's why I have ATM strategies that already has that in mind, so I don't have to think about it. My target is where I need to get get the P&L that I need. I feel that once I moved away from scalping, because uh, I started scalping because I watched one of these fake furus and their fake furu strategies. And at the time, I didn't know that that was a thing. I would have saved a lot of money if I knew. But on the ES, mind you, he had a strategy where he showcased that his what he would do. He would make $900 a day and go to work. It's crazy. I mean, shit, that should have been the red flag right there. You making $900 a day? Let's do the math on that. The market is open how many days? 20 days out of the month. And he's making $900 a day, meaning that he's making $200K a year. And if he's doing that consistently, why the hell is he going to work? But anyway, his strategy, and I followed it like a fool, was 6 mini contracts catching, I think, 1 or 2 points on the ES. Is that $900 though? All right, so 3 points on the ES. Catching 3 points on the ES with 6 mini contracts and having like a big stop loss, like a 6-point stop loss or something like that. And obviously you blow up pretty fast like that. And I followed that like a fool because I didn't know no better back then. I thought he was an expert because he was quote unquote showcasing, I mean, now we all know it's photoshopped, but back then, obviously nobody knew. So, um, but I mean, I'm kind of glad that I went through that because now it's like, I feel like, well, I try to be an alchemist when it comes to bad situations. I always try to turn shit into gold. In that situation, it just made me think like, you know what? Uh, Now I know how I don't want to trade. Now let me move forward to how I do want to trade. And it's been a journey, man. It's definitely been a journey. I'm still learning. I mean, I'm comfortable now with mini contracts on the Nasdaq. My trading partner has always been comfortable with heavy size. I've gradually moved into that. We was actually, I think we was talking about it on stream yesterday, which is very true. I think we was talking about it yesterday about how I first started with minis. I would trade one or maybe two contracts at the most. And then I switched to micros because I kept going on tilt and blowing my accounts when the market didn't do what I thought it was supposed to do. And not understanding that the market moves in certain ways during certain seasons. And then I switched to micros. And then once I got very comfortable with micros, I mean, seeing that number, if I got about 3 micros on, well, and I'm doing good with micros, then there's really shouldn't be no difference if I trade with minis. Now, another reason why I went back to minis is because the commissions. These prop firms, I mean, they tax the hell out of these damn micro contracts. It's $174. It's $1.74 round trip with these micros. And if you got 10, shit, that's about what? $12 almost? It's about $17. It's $17. And I was giving them most of my gains. I didn't realize it until I actually looked at it. And I was like, dang, I'm actually giving up a lot of money to commissions. Honestly, what made me really see it is when that one day where I was in my Apex PA account and I saw that I paid about $600 or $900 in commissions because I was trading micros. And I was like, damn. And it just made me look at the damn commission sheets and I was like, damn, that's just expensive. And that's another reason why I went back to minis. But trading micros, like I said, has definitely made me comfortable with the Nasdaq's price action. It's just that now I just have to be more patient because if I be more patient, then I can get paid. If I'm catching 80 points on 3 micros, I can catch 80 points on 3 minis. I just have to ignore the P&L and just trade the process like I've been doing. What's up, Trishana? When it comes to tick charts, when it comes to the Nasdaq, on the micros, I use the 1800 tick chart. I feel like that tick chart is probably the best tick charts for micros. When I trade the full mini, I trade a 900 contract. I trade half the size because it's half the volume. I'm gonna show it to you. You don't ever have to take my word for it. You can see that in the data itself. The Nasdaq, well, in the morning, you usually see probably like 500 to a million contracts on the micros, and you usually see half of that on the minis. I mean, basically, you can see it now. Is not half of it. It's damn near almost a quarter of it right now. So when it comes to ticks is based on volume. Every tick is a transaction. So every candle represents 900 transactions in the Nasdaq. I'll show you the difference between a mini and a micro chart because they are different because of the volume. The price action is the same, obviously, but I mean, the EMAs and everything else is definitely different. I mean, obviously, you got more candles because you have more volume. And sometimes you might, so this is at 157.50. The high right now is at 191.25. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes this one overshoots and this one undershoots. In the micros, on Tuesday, it got all the way up to 320, but in the minis, it got all the way up to 319.75. And you got those little tiny discrepancies because of the volume. I will always recommend trading on the smaller time frame chart because it gives you all this information, this data. It gives you all this structure versus having a higher time frame chart where it just gives you candles. A minute chart is very similar to a tick chart, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm about $75,000 in this account, but like I said, I'm not going to probably trade it anymore. I'm going to focus on that other account. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to pay, because I think TradingView, they make you pay for it. Some platforms make you pay for tick charts. A minute chart is very similar. It is very similar. Ugh. If I didn't have a tick chart, I would be trading on the minute chart. But I got the tick chart, so I don't have to worry about that. The only time-based chart that I use and that I utilize and is not for trading is just to give me direction. And it's the hourly chart. That's it. Now, that's the highest I go. I don't necessarily look at the daily. I don't look at the weekly nor monthly. We're intraday traders. So in my opinion, and this is my opinion, those charts are irrelevant. You're not going to be able to swing. We're intraday traders in these prop accounts. So you need to keep focus on what the intraday structure is doing, not the overall structure. I mean, you can look at those charts. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just telling you that I don't. And I do pretty good. I do pretty well because it's not, I feel like when you're trading intraday, it's more emotions and psychology. When you're trading, when you're swinging, I'm going to make the assumption that you have smaller size with a bigger stop and a bigger target. So you're not worried about if your target hits today. If you're trading in the right direction, you can wait a couple of weeks. You can put the trade on Monday, and then the price hits your target on Friday. I mean, When you're in a personal account, I mean, you have that freedom. But us intraday traders, we just have to be focused on the price action for that day, not the overall structure. Mm. Yeah, I thought that was crazy too. Cause I mean, well, maybe I am paying for it. I don't know. Maybe I did pay for it. I do have the lifetime license with Ninja Trader 8. So maybe it's one as a part of the package, but or maybe it's not. I feel like Tick Charts is I feel like it's just normal. I really don't see why anybody would charge for that. But but like I said, I wouldn't buy it. Just use the minute chart. That's the next best thing is the minute chart. Honestly, all the professionals that I've talked to, that I've learned from, they recommend the 1 minute chart. And I'm starting to see a trend where the full rules will tell you all these higher time frame charts, and the professionals with track records will tell you about the minute chart, these smaller time frame charts, and they'll tell you that they don't even look at the higher time frame. If you're an intraday trader. I mean, I feel like I should just make that very clear. Just intraday trading, not swing trading, not long-term investing, in and out intraday trading. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. I mean, it does look like I probably may get stopped out of this. It does look like this thing is building up for a leg down. Unless we just see a nasty green candle, but this thing does look like I'm probably gonna get stopped out of this. But I'm gonna stay in this position though. I'm gonna let it work. I'm gonna let it work. Hey, now these sinuses are just they kick my ass like I don't know what it is, man. We talked about it last night. It's like whatever like for whatever reason, the first time I came to Texas, I thought I was dying at nighttime because of how bad I do. Honestly, I've never had sinuses until I moved to Texas. I never had a problem or issues with sinuses until I moved to Texas because I was living in South Carolina where it was super humid. So you don't have to worry about having sinus problems. You don't. But here in Texas, it's dry. So that was literally a shock to my body. And every time during I guess spring, fall, whatever, at nighttime my sinuses would flare up. But I can't live nowhere else other than Texas. Texas fits me. Texas fits me. I feel like I don't have to worry about. I mean, even though Texas, look at that. Even though Texas is basically purple, it's still red. It's more red, but Texas is kind of purple now. I think. I mean, if Texas were to ever turn blue, I wouldn't. Dude, I don't know, man. That would be the. I don't think it would ever happen, but if it does, because I mean, a lot of people are moving from California to Texas, making it purple. It's like y'all keep that craziness over there in California. No disrespect, but keep that craziness over there. Yeah, I probably might get stopped out of this one. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm in Texas. You said fit in with GA. I mean, I lived in Georgia too. I mean, I've lived in Florida. Florida has been my one of my favorite places to live, but that was all the way back in 2011, 2012. I don't know if Florida is the same, but I loved living in Florida. I never would have moved from Florida if Florida was not a like, dude, when they say that Florida is a retirement state, they mean that shit. You will not find a job there. You will not find a job. There were no jobs. And so because there was so little opportunity for employment there, I had to that's when actually I moved to Georgia. I lived in Jonesboro for about a month or two and I couldn't stand the traffic. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't do this. I don't like driving. I like to get from point A to point B. I like to have a 5-mile radius that I travel in. And I don't like going out that 5-mile radius. And sitting in traffic, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Me moving out, like, dude, me moving out of Georgia, like, dude, 2 hours was just sitting in traffic. I was like, dude, no way. No way. No way. No, I can't do this. No disrespect to Georgia, but that traffic is crazy. Crazy. And I was kind of running like so Florida has this thing. So I was doing this thing with the payday loans, and I don't know if Florida still does it, but I know when I moved to Georgia, they didn't do it. I think I had to drive like an hour away or something like that for like a because what I was doing with the payday loan was that what was it? So I was basically paying. How did it go? Because the way that they charge for their payday loans, I mean, it just it's like, dude, it's cheap. How did they do it? How did I do it? I would pay like I think it's like what $50 or at the time. It was really cheap. So let me just kind of use an example, but not the exact because I really don't remember it anymore. But as an example, I think I was paying $50 every time I got a payday advance. So it was I can get my money from next week, get that, pay it back, and only pay $50. And probably the whole month I'm paying like what $200. It was something like the way that Florida has its payday loans, the way they charge for it is super cheap, super cheap. I was like, shit, it's like free money. I just gotta pay for it. It was super cheap, man. And then you go everywhere else. I figured that it was like that everywhere else, and I was like, dude, I'm not doing this shit no more. It's like shit. You're paying like, dude, it's not even. It got to the point to where what's the point of even doing it? It's so goddamn expensive with the fees. It's like, what's the point of doing it? Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's cheap. So uh it's like if I remember it correctly, I can take out the payday loan, pay the $50, wait a day, and then come back and take out that same loan again. And it always felt like I had extra money in the account. All I had to do was just pay it back. Pay it back with the $50 and then retake out the loan again. I was actually thinking that too. I was like, yeah, y'all guys probably think I was scamming. No, it was a damn loophole. I was just playing the system. That's all I was doing. I was playing the system. I mean, shit, y'all got it cheap like that. Why not? I mean, as long as I'm paying what y'all guys want, that $50, I just want my check a little bit early. That's it. And then I'll pay it and you just give it back. I'll just take out the same loan. I mean, shit, that's how rich people stay rich. That's how they don't pay taxes. And they do the same thing with loans. They don't pay their taxes. They just use the money that they make as collateral, their assets as collaterals, and they just take out and spend their loans and then pay it back with interest, and they don't have to pay taxes on that. I mean, shit, you can do it with your credit cards. As long as you pay off your credit card, you can just collect the free points. That's what I do. Last year, I was able, around Christmas time, I had an extra, I think, $1,100 for the year. I pay everything with my credit card. Everything with my credit card. I don't even like shit. Honestly, I mean, if my bank didn't require me to have a debit account, like, dude, I don't keep money in that shit. I keep money in my credit cards. But now this year, I'm starting to keep money into it because now, with all these banks and they're talking about everybody's in credit card debt. My biggest fear now, or my biggest concern, is that for what, because actually what brought my attention to it is that PayPal did it. PayPal did it. Like, PayPal gave me like a $700 limit. And I was like, fine, shit, I'll take it. And I would use it and pay it off. And how they rewarded me was they reduced my limit. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I was gonna get something. I think I was gonna finally spend something on it because I was only using the PayPal account, the credit card to if you're familiar when Top Step had those accounts and then they was trying to partner with PayPal or something like that. And you can only get it if you paid with PayPal. And so when I did that, they offered me to apply for a credit card. I did. They gave me a $700 limit. So I was like, cool, I'll probably won't use it, but uh, maybe one day if I want to buy me like a expensive prop account, I'll just use the this card or whatever, right? And but I didn't do that. I just bought like small little things and then I would pay it off. And then they reduced my limit. And I was like, why the fuck did they did that? And then that got me thinking like, I wonder if like they really don't want you to play their system. Cause if you're just all you're doing is collecting their points and you're not paying no interest for real, you just buying something, collecting the points and paying it off before they can hit you with interest, they might try to reduce my damn limit. And so now after PayPal did that shit to me, I was like, nah, I don't think my bank would, but I'm not going to trust them or nothing. So now I keep money now in the accounts now, and I don't keep too much money in my credit cards anymore, but I still do it though. I just spend everything on my credit cards and pay it off and collect the points. Kind of like with these prop firms. Oh, you making oh shit, Top Step reached out to me. I'm getting into that second payout. That was like, oh yeah, we watching you. You think you about to get 3 payouts on us back to back? We're about to put you in that live account. And I was like, oh shit. Shit. I already got the email already. I think I'm about like 2 or 3 more days. Well, actually, I locked my account today. I locked it today because I don't want to. I don't want. Like I said, I have an appointment tomorrow. I don't want to put on a trade and then I don't have time to make my money back if I'm wrong. So I locked my account, but I'm about 2 or 3 days away from my other payout. And they're gonna pay me out, damn it. They dragged their feet with that first payout. It took them about 4 days to pay that shit out. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see though. We'll see if that level holds. We'll see. Yo, as long as I got your trust, game wait. As long as I got your trust. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I hate that shit, man. Oh, you grew up in Miami in the '60s? You know, Trishana? Shit. I visited New York and I instantly fell in love with the city. Instantly fell in love with New York. I went with my brother. Him and his friends had an Airbnb, which honestly, thinking back on that, I mean, you gotta be young and dumb to sleep in somebody's house. Now, if you've seen all the instances on social media with the owners coming back all randomly with the Airbnb and stuff like that. Anyway, that's it's not here nor there. But I mean, I instantly fell in love with the city, and that's before COVID. I fell in love with this so much that I was actually planning on moving out there to New York. I mean, the city's alive, man. I like that. But right before I was going to apply to this company out there, and if I got the job, I was going to move out there. And COVID happened. Literally, COVID happened. Like as soon as I was thinking about it, planning for it, about to make the move, COVID happened. And the way that New York treated the y'all guys out there, I'm so glad I didn't move out there. I mean, shit, after COVID, I mean, New York citizens has been through so much. First it was the COVID mandates, and I felt like New York was going the hardest with that shit out of everybody. And then after that, you had the migrant issue where a lot of the resources was being allocated to migrants. And the citizens of New York had to suffer that. And then on top of that, I got squatters. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's been there, but it just, and then on top of that, it just seems like New York just went full DEI and was like, yeah, and started protecting criminals. But looking back, I feel like that was probably divine intervention. And it was like, yeah, stay your ass here in Texas. Stay your ass here in Texas. Don't be fucking moving. You can visit, but stay your ass here in Texas. And then I'll probably never live in a blue state. That's the ideologies of a blue state is just not for me. I mean, if the government is telling its citizens that it's necessary to have tampons in boys' bathrooms, that I don't need to live there. I don't need to live there. But I also lived in Virginia too. I mean, I think I've lived up and down the East Coast. So I've lived in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, lived in Texas. I think that's about it. I think the state I hate the most is Virginia. I hated living in Virginia. I hated living in Virginia. They mean it when they say that Virginia is for lovers because if you're a fighter, shit, they don't play. It's a Commonwealth state. They make money off of its people. So I would never live in a Commonwealth state. I learned the hard way what a Commonwealth state is. I never been, I never had so many quote unquote speeding tickets in my life. Like, dude, like they track, like, so I remember this instance when I was driving from North Carolina to Virginia and I was speeding because shit. I mean, man, you would catch me going like 90, 100 driving from North Carolina to Virginia because it was a 2-hour drive and I hate driving. So I just wanted to get there as fast as possible. Um, Apparently I drove past a speed trap, but then fortunately, fortunately, this other car was speeding with me, right? And it was just so happened that we had the same color car. So not even 5, 10 minutes later, out of nowhere, a police officer is behind me, and I'm like, fuck. Here it comes. I think I've had like 3 or 4 speeding tickets in freaking Virginia, dude, because of just how on point they are with that shit. He drove past me and he drove past me and I was like, I wonder why he drove past me because I surely was speeding, but I'm not going to argue with him. I get further down the road, then he stopped that other car that was behind me and passed me because he was going faster than me. Same color car and everything too. And I was like, shit, better him than me. Shit, better him than me. But I probably got stopped on the way back because shit, I ain't going to slow down. But man, Virginia charges you for every fucking thing. They tried to get me for my, like, dude, I had North Carolina plates and I could have sworn that if you had different plates on your car, that a state couldn't sit here and talk about, yeah, you got a legal 10 on your, because shit, I could be driving through. You don't know that. But these motherfuckers wrote me a ticket talking about I had the wrong 10 on my car with North Carolina plates on my car. And I had to pay like $200 or $300 for that shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, how can y'all do this? And they're talking about if you don't do it, we're gonna suspend you. How you gonna suspend my North Carolina license? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I hated living in Virginia. I'll never go back to Virginia. Never. Hated that shit. What I will say is that because they held this little range right here, I do think that we'll probably get that retest of 200 though. I mean, they held that range. I mean, we should get it. I mean, should get it. Yeah, I should get this shit hit. I should. Hmm. Yeah, they are. Yeah, Jelly Bean, I'll go like. So I keep my ranges on indefinitely. I've come to find that these algos just reference these ranges. I mean, I just keep them on until they don't work no more. Shit. They work. But yeah, Jelly Bean, I'll go like I mean, no one is not attacking nobody's lifestyle. I mean, dude, no one cares. Let's just be real. No one fucking cares. People talking about, I need a safe space for this. Like, dude, no one fucking cares about who you're having sex with. No one fucking cares. What we do care about is when you try to bully us into playing along with your delusion. That's what I don't like. I don't like that. You're not gonna that's I don't think anybody likes that. I mean, it's gotten to the point to where at one point in time, if you didn't play into people's pronouns, their delusions, I mean, your career was at jeopardy. And that's not fair. That's bullying. And you can tell that, it's like I'm not trying to get political or anything, but you can just tell that people are, I mean, they do care, because if they didn't care, they wouldn't project themselves into other people's quote unquote inner worlds. You wouldn't do that if you don't care. Like, if you truly don't care about something, you don't put energy into that. So instead of just talking about the real issues, the real issue is that these people, they wanted to be a certain way. They wanted to be abnormal, and they didn't get the attention that they want. So it's basically like a child throwing a tantrum just to get attention. I mean, that's when I see that behavior, that's all I see. You're just a child. No one gave you attention. You're acting out for the attention, and you're just becoming more extreme to get more attention. That's it. Because you know that there's only two damn genders. You know that. You freaking know that. And the one thing that I've always noticed in alternative relationships outside of a man and a woman, the one thing stays very clear. There is a masculine and there is a feminine. Now, the characters may be different, but the universal truth is still the same. I saw this thing on Facebook, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to pay attention to this shit, because if they don't see it, then they're just choosing not to. It was this effeminate black male with this masculine white woman, which is basically, come on, like, come on, come on. And that's in every relationship, regardless of what somebody identifies with, is always a masculine and is always a feminine. It doesn't work any other way. You're never going to have two masculines in a situation, and you'll never have two feminine in a situation that lasts over a lifetime, because that's just not how attraction works. It needs to be a feminine and a masculine. So once I saw that, I mean, I don't think about stuff like that, because, I mean, I know the truth, and you're not going to dilute the truth, and you're not going to threaten me either. And I'm not going to call you something that I know you're not. Like, you're not going to get me to do that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's crazy too, man. That's crazy. I didn't know furries was a thing. I never knew it until I found myself on the wrong side of YouTube one day, and I was like, wow, okay. All right. All right. I did not know that was a thing. I think I saw this video of this guy that paid $10,000 for a dog suit that looked super real. I mean, it was realistic. And because he wanted to live his life as a dog or some shit like that. And I was like, wow, okay. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, you just want attention, but you don't want to put in the work to get the attention, to get positive attention. You don't want to put in the work. That's all it is. That's all anything is. Oh, I don't want to do the work to get it the right way, so I'm going to be like Dennis Robin and have purple pink hair, marry Cher or marry myself, or do something crazy that's going to draw the attention, so you can say, well, so you don't work with it. But the crazy thing is when when you present yourself as a quote unquote freak show, I feel like you're working harder, in my opinion, because you got to come up with something crazy. You got to come up with something crazier the next week. I mean, we've already seen you, cut off your left arm. Now we want to see you cut off the right one. It's like, you just got to come up with something crazier the next week to keep somebody's attention. And that's why you see a lot of these celebrities that don't have talent for real burn out. Because they're just like, you're not buying their music because they're talent. It's, well, honestly, I really don't know how. I mean, this this past era of music, like with your Little Pumps, your Takashi 6 9s, and all your freak show artists, where they're not necessarily talented, but you kind of rock with them because it's like, oh yeah, he's kind of like that friend, that internet friend over the internet, and he's really cool. So I want to support him, even though I don't necessarily think this person is talented in any way. I mean, they've made millions, but look at Little Pump now. Just like what J. Cole said. I mean, you're making money now, but when your fans they grow up and they go away, you don't get no new ones. Well, the money dries up, and that's exactly what happened. Same thing happened to Chakashi 6 9. No talent. It was just gimmicks. It was just a freak show. You've done everything underneath the sun to get people's attention, and now people's moved on. That's all that shit is, and I think that's all it's ever has been, in my opinion. Mm, yeah, that's why I stay away from blue states and cities. I mean, it's like I said, it's. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know how you. Well, I mean, no, it's not. I understand because I mean, I can only use myself as an example. When I wasn't responsible for anybody other than myself, it was easy for me to say what other people were doing wrong because they were putting themselves out there and I wasn't. So as a spectator, it's easy to say, "Oh yeah, you should be doing this instead of that. You should be doing that instead of this. Blah blah blah. You shouldn't do this. You should be employing these types of people. Blah blah blah." But, as you mature and you're given responsibilities and people depend on you, well, obviously now the stuff that I used to say, "Oh, I'll never be that way," or "Why is he doing it like this?" Okay, now I understand. Now I understand. When you're the person that's holding everything together, when you're the person that when people depend on the decisions that you make, and if you make the wrong decision, it doesn't only affect you, but everybody that depends on you. You don't have time to be complaining and crying about shit. You don't have that luxury. You just don't. You don't have time to be crying about a stub toe or how you feel or what you like if I do something how I think it will make you feel. I don't like yeah, I'm gonna tell my family, yeah, I didn't do this because I didn't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. So now you have to suffer. It really does become like, you know what? I'm not gonna make everybody happy. And I'm not gonna waste the energy to try. Just not. I know who I'm responsible for. I know what I have to do to make sure that they're good. I know what kind of lifestyle I want to provide for those that I'm responsible for. And I'm going to do that. There is no complaining. I show up every day. No matter how I feel, I'm showing up. Unless I physically can't. Like tomorrow. I mean, I'm going to still show up, but I'm at the end of the stream early. I have an appointment. But there's just no excuses. It's really not. It's really not. And there's always like before, like my mindset before. I mean, because I didn't have anybody to depend on me. I can make excuses like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to go to the gym today," or "I don't want to go to work today. I don't feel good. I want to just stay in bed." But you just don't get that luxury anymore. You just don't. And if something goes right, you'll be blamed, and if something goes wrong, you'll be blamed. Yeah. So there's no point complaining about it because you're going to get blamed anyway. The only thing that you can do is make countermeasures, have plans, have continuity, because the show does not stop. The show must go on. And when you look at life through that lens, you just begin to see protesters for what they are. They're not out there because they care. They're out there because they want attention. They have nothing else to do. If they had jobs, you think they'll be out there protesting? No, they don't. They wouldn't. If they had any responsibilities, you think they'll be out there protesting? No, they wouldn't. They don't have nothing else better to do. Now, I'm not saying that all causes, we're not talking about the real causes, the ones that matter. But we're just talking about the ones that on social media and like, oh yeah, they're having a protest, let's go. You know, that type of shit. Just something to do. Because the one thing that I have learned is that as humans, for whatever reason, we're wired to work. We don't do very well with being lazy. We just don't. We don't do very well with freedom either. As much as we want to be lazy and as much as we want freedom, we don't do too well with it. So what a lot of people that become entrepreneurs and kind of break away from the rat race, they find themselves in a new one where it's now I got to keep myself productive. Now I have to keep myself busy. Now I have to grow the business that I'm building. And if you don't, well, you'll find yourself in a lot of depression, a lot of drug use, a lot of escapism, a lot of drifting. We just don't do too good with that for whatever reason, even though that's what we fight and strive for. It's such a contradiction. It really is. I don't understand why is in our wiring like that, but it is. For a while, it was hard for me to find something to latch on to because once I got that freedom that I fought majority of my life for, I hit a wall and was like, well, shit, what do I do next? What do I do now? I appreciate that game weight. I decided a long time ago that I feel like there's levels in this game, man. Once you move away from the student, the only option you have now is to be a teacher. And if you choose to not accept the mantle of a teacher, then you're gonna drift. You're gonna drift. And drifting, I think that's worse than death. You're basically a zombie. And I'm starting to realize that a lot of the stuff that we see is symbolic. It's not meant to be taken literally. Like stuff with the Bible and stuff. I'm starting listening to some of the scriptures and it's like, wow, I see it in a different light. I don't see these characters as actual people that existed in some point in time. I'm for whatever reason now I'm starting to see the symbolism. The biggest one for me is Adam and Eve. I mean that story right there just has so many. It can be interpreted in so many ways. Interpreted in so many ways, and it's symbolic. Just that one story of Adam and Eve is just so symbolic of things. Mm. Kind of going back to this trade, I don't like how it's just hanging around in this area, honestly. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this trade up. Win or lose, I'm gonna keep it up. I think I lose. Actually, I need to reduce my risk on this one, actually. No, I'll keep it right there. Because I mean, if it comes back down, that means that it's crashing down. I mean, we got basically a small little head and shoulders pattern right here. It's small, but it's there. It's small. You got your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. So price shouldn't be coming down here unless it finds resistance somewhere up here. Hopefully my front run is front ran enough because I'm not babysitting this tonight. I'm going to bed. But I think price should. I mean, if this ranges holds, then this should be the area where we see price hit. It should be. Oh, but if not, that's fine too. We always get our money back, and we always get our money back. So, but all right, guys, I'm in the stream here. We definitely will come back tomorrow. We'll look for more ways to earn more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody. Have a good night.